Hello there. We are here with Kevin Markarian. Hey, Kevin, uh,
Hello.
if we could start, just tell me about yourself, where you're located, how long you've been in real estate. I know you run a team.
Yeah. So I'm really happy to be able to talk with you today. Our company is based in San Francisco, and it's an independent boutique brokerage. We have about 75 agents that work with us, and we're based in San Francisco, and we have offices and agents kind of all over California. And one of the things that we do really well and we focus on is online lead generation. And we have a large number of people in our database, almost 200,000 contacts in our database. And a big part of what we do is reach out to them, connect with them, answer their questions, and of course, we try to represent them in buying and selling homes. And that's a big part of what we do, and leveraging technology and being able to partner with people like you and Agent Legends, a big part of our business.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, so I just want to go back because that was news to me that you had 75 agents. Can you just, and whatever you're comfortable sharing here, are they 75 full-time agents or a lot of them part-time or what's the breakdown there?
Definitely 80-20 rule applies to a big part of any business and including ours. So we have a number of agents that are working full time that real estate's our number one source of income, and we have agents that aren't always working full time as well. So we generate, like I said, thousands of leads, and we try to provide opportunities to those that want to take them.
Nice. And how long have you been in real estate, Kevin?
Oh, so I've been in real estate since 2002, quite a long time. I started really early in my life, and I started Marker Real Estate in late 2014, 2015. And I'm very, very proud to say that our company landed on the Inc. 500 list, being one of the fastest growing privately owned companies in America. And it's just a testament to our great people that work with us, and a lot of the tools that we use that allow us to grow, to connect with more people, to sell more houses, including Agent Legend. So I'm really excited about what the future holds with our two companies.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you. And how long has it been now since you've been a member of Agent Legend?
Well, I'd say probably like 2 years, about 2 years now. And we just, it's nice to be able to reach out and basically leverage technology to reach out to a large number of people. And that's what Agent Legend really allows us to do. Because if you have a large database, whether it's you're generating thousands of leads, or you have a big, sphere of influence or whatever, we're in the people business, we're in the relationship business. So it's important to connect with as many people as you possibly can. And sometimes you're not able to do that because I can only be in one place at one time. And so using a tool like Agent Legend, it allows us to reach out and connect with more people and ultimately sell more homes. And that's like the big part of like any business in real estate and any real estate agent's objective, right? Sell more houses.
Yeah. And how do you remember how did you first hear about us?
Um, I think it must have been on one of the real estate groups. So I'm a member of a number of real estate groups, and we have our own group called Real Closers. And of course, Lab Coat Agents the owner of Lab Coat Agents is a dear friend of mine, Tristan. And it must have been in one of the groups. Somebody mentioned using Agent Legend, and we were looking for a solution and how we can reach out and connect with more people. And then you and I think we met at one of the conferences.
We did.
And then we connected really well there. And you guys were great. And the salesperson, did a demo, and it was like love at first sight, man. I saw this is something that we really, really need.
I think it was. Wasn't it Inman? Like I think that was 3 years ago, wasn't it? At this point.
Okay, yeah, it was definitely in San Francisco at one of the Inman conferences, and might have been 3 years ago. Yeah, it's and we've been using the product ever since, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, really, like for any agent at any level, using a product like Agent Legend will definitely help your business, because we want to be connecting with more people. And this is a software and a tool that allows you to do that, whatever level you're at. Like if you're doing things at a high level, okay, great. I can reach out to more people, and my database of 200,000 contacts, I can put them into a CSV file and put it into Agent Legend, and it's really simple and easy to use, which is another reason why I really love it. Or if I'm a brand new agent and I want to notify everyone that I know that I'm entering the real estate space, I can do that with Agent Legend. So it's a great tool that every agent should have at their disposal.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, man. And let me ask you, so I guess before the 3 years ago, before you'd heard about Agent Legend, what was your business like prior to that? I mean, you said you got in at 2002, so I'd imagine, there's been a lot of evolutions. Um, was it similar to what it is now, or have things, what was it
No,
like?
no. I mean, we definitely lots of changes, right? Like a lot of the tools that are available to us now were non-existent, never even thought of back then in 2002. I think what it really turned around for me was like 2013 when I started heavily investing in online leads, and I got to a point where I couldn't do enough on my own. I just like maxed myself out. I was working with lots of clients, and I didn't have enough time to not only like go and do more listing appointments. I didn't have time to even call anyone or text anyone. So um, it's a problem that we face as independent business owners in real estate is like the cycle of ups and downs. So like it's like step one is I start prospecting, I reach out to people, connect with them. Step two is I put them in contract and I'm focusing on the contract. Step three is escrow, getting ready. Step four is closing, and then deliver the keys, and then back now step one again, right? So once step four is finished, I'm unemployed. So I have to go back to step one and start all over again. And that's a problem because we don't have an income and we have to get out there and start from scratch. So having a tool like Agent Legend working in the background while I'm going through the steps allows me to not necessarily start over, right? Because the conversations are happening and the text messages are going out. The voicemail drops are being sent. The email blasts are going out. So people are responding to me, and I'm out there, right? It's like I'm digitally out there connecting and communicating with people while my deals are happening, while I'm focusing on, the clients that I should be spending the most time with. There is something going on in the background, and it's allowing me to pick up right when that last deal is finished. I can pick up those conversations. And if you look at the most successful people in any business, they have the best systems, right? It's like, I mean, you have to have good systems in place. And I think one of the problems with a lot of software and tools out there is a lot of those softwares or whatever tools are complicated. They're hard to use, and it takes like a super techie person to figure them out. And what I like about Agent Legend is the way you guys have simplified it, so that someone like myself, that maybe I'm not the most tech savvy person, I can get in there and I can figure it out really easily. And it allows me to like not necessarily focus on like doing that so much, and allows me to just simply get in there, make a couple, you guys already have campaigns and things already set up, so I can get in and really make an impact fast. And that way I can get out and go work with the clients and FaceTime with the clients while Agent Legend is doing the work for me in the background. So that's what I really enjoy, what I like about it. And I think you've done a tremendous job setting it up and simplifying it for people that maybe aren't so tech savvy.
Thank you. Yeah, that's been a big goal of ours, actually. Because how are you going to save people time if they have to spend more time setting it up or be confused or overwhelmed by it? So thank you. That's a big deal for us. And so be totally honest with me. What were your feelings about Agent Legend prior to ever, becoming a member? Were you skeptical at all? Did you have any concerns about anything to do with any of it?
Well, with anything, like we have in our business, like the shiny object thing, right? Like people always talk about not to get carried away with some new product or some new software that comes out. And so, of course, with anything, I'm usually a little bit more on the skeptical side, and spending and investing dollars into something that I'm not familiar with. But when I saw that everybody was using it, all the people that I know that I look up to that are successful are using it, that makes me feel a little bit better. And so it allowed me to like bring that wall down a little and give it a chance. But I'll tell you, like, just from my own personal experience, and if you're watching this, it definitely works. It helped our business. We've closed a large number of transactions because of Agent Legend. I can tell you, like on the app, every day I go into the app and there's conversations. It's all about conversations, right? And that's what Agent Legend allows me to have on a regular basis, people communicating with me. And, we're sending messages out, and sometimes, like I'm looking at at the app right now, there's 468 conversations going on right now. So, and that's through zero effort outside of the first initial setup that I did. I spent the time. I spent probably like 30 minutes. And then after that, I haven't done a single thing. Okay. And I've got 468 active conversations going. So that should tell you right there, like that alone is worth the money that to spend on it. Right. So, yeah, to answer your question, I was a little bit more, I'd say I was a little skeptical or whatever, but I'm so happy that I made the decision.
Oh man. Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate the honesty there. I think that, shiny object and being skeptical about something new, but I guess that just speaks to social proof, right? Like people and respect who are successful just like you, when you see them doing it, that's probably like the most powerful, most convincing thing that anybody can do. I guess
Absolutely.
it reminds me of a diet, right? Like a diet sounds ridiculous until somebody that who personally had all these great results from it. And then you're like, wait a second, I know this person and it worked for them. So now I'm going to do keto.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people that we trust that we know aren't going to lead us down a wrong path. And if they're finding success with something, that to me is like a shortcut. I don't have to go and find out the hard way on my own, because somebody else that I trust and that I know is successful is already doing it. And there's no ego, right? There's no ego involved here. It's just about doing the right thing. And that's what I did.
Can I ask you, Kevin, and just be as specific, as comfortable as you are with specifics, but can you tell me anything about like specific results or something that's like on the top of your head? I don't know how much you track it, but as far as like, do you have an idea of maybe like how much business you closed, or maybe how many leads you engaged that you wouldn't have otherwise because you wouldn't have been following up? Do you have just anything on your mind, like tangibly, that you could speak to? And if not, then, that's okay. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, we have, just going back to the 468 conversations, like we have 468 conversations that I wouldn't have had if I didn't have Agent Legend. Okay. So is that going to result in transactions? I don't know, but I know for a fact that we have closed deals because of Agent Legend. Last year we did at least 10 transactions with clients that we spoke with through Agent Legend. So yeah, I mean, the results are there for sure. And I'll tell you, conversations lead to transactions. The more conversations that you have, the more transactions you're going to have, right? So, yeah. And that's what it's all about. I want to have as many conversations as I can with clients, with people in my sphere, with online clients, with my database, and those conversations are going to lead to transactions. And I'm a big believer in, like, they buy or they die, they sell or they die. Like there's that quote or that phrase, and I'm a big believer in that. And this is something that allows me to stay in front of people with a very small amount of effort.
Wow, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. That's, 10 transactions last year that came from the help of our system. That's great for me to know too. And it's good to hear that. It's what we hear all the time, by the way, but I like to ask that question too, just to get some idea of, there's a lot of activity going on every day, but what's the results? So it's always great to hear that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we're using it at a high level. And the one thing we have, if I could put every single client in Agent Legend, I would do that. And I know there are some limitations, and you guys are doing the right thing in terms of the regulatory bodies out there that prevent us from doing certain things in terms of like communicating. And I look to you for that. And I know that you guys are doing the right thing and with regards to compliance. But like if it was up to me, it would be full out. Like we would put every single client in Agent Legend. And a lot of our agents are using it too. And I know there's at least one agent on my team that a big part of her business, she did almost volume last year, and a big part of her business came through Agent Legend.
And I'm sorry, Kevin, my connection cut out when you said, it sounded like you said a specific number for how much volume she did, and then I didn't hear the number.
We have an agent on our team that did almost $40 million in volume last year.
Oh, yeah.
And the vast majority of her business came through Agent Legend.
Wow.
And that's one of the few tools that she uses. Like she doesn't invest in a lot of different software and tools. Like I'm like a kind of a tech junkie when it comes to that stuff. So I have a lot of different tools that I use, but for communicating, we definitely use Agent Legend. That's our main source, but that's like her only source. That's like her only thing. One of very like that. And I think she has like a CRM.
Yeah.
And Agent Legend contributed to the vast majority of her transactions that she closed last year. And she did $40 million in volume last year in the Bay Area.
That's amazing.
And so that's really powerful. And the other thing that I think is really cool is we have a CRM that we use, and Agent Legend integrates really well. And that's important. So for example, what does that mean? That means if you're having a conversation in Agent Legend, and that's one software, and then you have another software that's your CRM, where you should be tracking all your leads and all your clients and all the communication. Any conversation that I have with a client in Agent Legend automatically shows up in my CRM. So it's awesome, because if I want to find out what's happening with someone in my database, I can just go into my CRM and I can see that they responded to one of the text campaigns that went out. And then I can just pick up the conversation where it left off. That's the power, right? And that's what leverage is all about.
And what is the CRM?
We use Follow Up Boss.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're great.
Yeah.
They're great guys.
Yeah.
And then, so Kevin, please be honest. Would you recommend Agent Legend to other agents? And if so, why? And then would you not recommend Agent Legend as well to a certain type of agent? So I would just love to hear your perspective on both.
No, I mean, I would definitely recommend it to any agent at any level, because if you believe that real estate is a relationship business, that means we need conversation. We need to have conversations, right? In order for us to close more deals, we need to have more conversations. And if I'm busy doing things and I'm out there in the field, which is what I should be doing as an agent, it's really great to have a tool that's working in the background, having conversations for me that are authentic, that come across as being real and human. And that way I can pick up where Agent Legend left off. It's just leveraging technology, right? I mean, why not? And it comes off as being real, and that's really important. And for me, I mean, we have a very successful team and a brokerage. Like we use it on the brokerage level and on the team level. And but like I said, I think any agent can benefit from it, including brand new agents, because you can only be in one place at one time. I can only have one conversation at a time. But what's great about Agent Legend is that it allows me to have, like in my case, 468 conversations at one time, right? So absolutely, I would recommend it. And we should be investing in our business. And the most important thing to do in any real estate agent's business is having conversations. So definitely, I recommend Agent Legend to any agent at any level.
Wow, thank you. And do you have any other thoughts or tips on how to get the best value out of Agent Legend?
Well, I think staying authentic with your scripting, with the wording that we're using. I know you guys have scripts and campaigns already in place. So use those, look at those, but we can personalize them. We can use our own like tone of voice, if you will. But sometimes the mistakes that we make utilizing technology like this is sounding mechanical or robotic, and it doesn't sound real. So
yeah, give me an example of you've keyed in on something that I think is very important, like staying authentic with your own voice, use the campaigns, but personalize them. Can you just talk more
Well,
about your thoughts around that?
I think it's important to spend a little time and look at the campaigns and revise them if necessary into your own tone of voice. Because if you're reaching out to people in your sphere of influence, and I don't know what you're saying normally, how you talk to people normally, but I have my own way of communicating. And if people who know me, they're going to expect to see that type of communication come across in any channel. Like if I'm texting them and I'm using words that I probably would never use, they're going to read through it. And I don't want to jeopardize that, you know? So I
Right.
think it's important to come across naturally, organically, authentically, and that's what I think is very important. And for what it's worth, like we even go to an extreme. Like I might even include some typos, you know, like I might even include some like extra capitalized words or something, just to come off as being real. And it's not deceptive, I don't think, in any way. I just don't want other people on the other side to feel uncomfortable, to make them, you know, I just want them to feel like I'm here, because the last thing I want is someone to think that that I'm not being authentic, and I'm not going to pick up where the conversation left off. And another part is just be ready, because people are going to respond. So if you send a campaign, be ready for response. Be ready to reply, right? Like that's a big one. It's like we've started campaigns and weren't prepared for the response. I remember we did the first time we sent out a text blast. One of the inside salespeople on my team that was responsible for following up, her phone literally froze up because of the responses, and it did not turn back on. Like it did not turn back on to get a new phone. So people, they will respond. Make sure your messaging's on point and be ready to reply, right? Be ready to, because people that respond to text messages that you just sent them a text message, and if they respond back immediately and then it's crickets and you don't reply for 2 days, that's not a good look either. So you want to be ready to reply back, and you'd be surprised. I mean, like you want to limit the messaging too, because it gets overwhelming, right? Like we try not to send out a massive amount of text messages in a day, because we're going to get a massive amount of responses. So we try to limit it to a manageable level, so that I can reply back accordingly and come across as being real. So those are some tips that I've learned that I think hopefully can be helpful to someone that wants to try Agent Legend for the first time.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's wonderful advice. Thank you. And you know, Kevin, do you have a website that you'd like to share with our audience, or an email for anybody that wants to get in touch?
Yeah. Well, I'm on
your Facebook group, please. Anything that you want to,
I appreciate that. We have a Facebook group. It's one of the largest real estate Facebook groups in the world. It's called Real Closers. We have almost 70,000 members, and it's a place where people can go and talk and share ideas and communicate and share best practices. There's a lot of people in the group that are using Agent Legend now, and you can learn from them. So definitely join that group. And yeah, I mean, we have a company called Marker Real Estate. We're hiring. We're looking for agents in California, and particularly in the Bay Area and in Orange County and Southern California. So if you're thinking about switching or want to join a new brokerage, or you can reach out to me. You just message me on Facebook, and yeah, that's about it.
Man, well, thank you. That's wonderful. Well, Kevin, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this interview with us. I have to say, I love the way that you take massive action. And actually, that was my first thought about you, because you and I had just met at Inman. And I remember, you know, we were excited to meet each other. You know, I think you asked me if I was into martial arts, and I found out that you were. So we had a great first conversation. And I remember we were at a coffee shop, and then you had asked me some questions about Agent Legend, and you were like, "Hey, Costas, you know, I want to get started with Agent Legend." And then at that coffee shop, I was like, "All right, great, that's great. Yeah, you know, we'll circle back." And here I am. You know, I traveled to. I'm sure you don't remember this, but it just made an impression on me. You know, I traveled to San Francisco. I think I was leaving the next day or later that day, and then you were like, "All right, so can we do it right now?" Like at the coffee shop, you know, while we're having a conversation, like, can we just do it now? And I remember being like, "Oh, I like that." And then you're like, "Oh, I'm serious. I want to do it." And so, I noticed that about you before you and I even got to know each other on any other level, and I loved it.
That's cool, man.
It's been awesome being able to work with you, and you know, I can't believe it's been 2 or at least 2, and I think closer to 3 years. So thank you.
Time flies, man. Time
Yeah.
flies. Cool, brother. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you, and to anybody watching this, if you are watching our Meet the Legends series and you want to try Agent Legend yourself to see if we can help you get more deals, just go to our website and just put your name in for a free demo. So thank you. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, guys. Take care.